What's up, everyone? It's Scotty with Money Vesting. So markets here pushing higher, and NASDAQ up over 1%. We had the S&P up over 0.5%, and the Dow Jones also rallying a little bit over 7 to 10 basis points, not all that much. On the back of NVDA, after pushing up over 7% and getting an upgrade from Morgan Stanley, once again citing artificial intelligence being a huge beneficiary for NVIDIA as well, things that we didn't already know. But we've got lots to unpack later this week. We got the retail sales coming out, and we've got the retail stocks such as Home Depot, Target, Walmart. All these companies are going to be reporting earnings later this week, which is going to give us a little bit of an insight into how well the economy is doing and how strong the consumer really is. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Find it helpful. If you do, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining, and of course getting access to all the buy and sell alerts, options alerts, trade ideas. I actually made a lot of trades today, a lot of selling and a lot of buying and a lot of options trades that I ended up making today. So again, if you want to get access to all that, link's going to be down below. There is a 16% annual discount, and more importantly, there are also going to be members only private videos that you can take advantage of. This right here is a video that I posted 3 days ago going over 4 quality trade ideas that have potential. And one thing that you have to understand about our community is that I don't post trade idea videos very often, but when I do, they've got a lot of potential, and the success rate's going to be much higher because I want you guys to take quality setups as opposed to take a lot of non-quality setups, right? So our focus is not on the quantity of trades, but instead the quality. I'd much rather take one trade in a year. Like if it up to me, I would take one trade per year where I can make 20% and that's it, right? Instead of taking 20 different trades making 1%, I would much rather focus on taking one quality setup that can yield me over 20-25%. That's the whole idea behind quality over quantity. So this again is a video that you can access. There's a lot of other videos as well. So again, you can read the comments here if you want. I mean, the feedback's been phenomenal. This right here, again, buying more of these 7 stocks. This is me breaking down my entire Indian stock portfolio as well. This right here is 17 growth stocks to buy. These are the core. This is what I consider to be the core of my portfolio. These are all very, very high quality tech stocks with my fair values that I'm also going over in this video. So again, all this is going to be accessible and available to you guys with the link down below. So S&P 500, NASDAQ closing higher Monday as tech stocks make a comeback. So obviously, this is all on the back of NVIDIA closing up over 7.1% after Morgan Stanley pretty much mentioned that the chip maker benefits from massive shift in AI. Like, duh, this has been going on for the last 7 months. Good morning, Morgan Stanley. It's nice to have you guys with us. This top tech investor is bracing for a period of consolidation. So Paul Meeks is preparing for a tech pullback in the weeks ahead, and that could offer up unique buying opportunities for investors looking to snatch up some of this year's AI winners. He says, and I quote, "Unfortunately, the whole sector got grossly overbought, and now we're starting to see some reality." And then he said that we're starting to see some consolidation, and I actually think that consolidation might continue a bit further. Meeks added that while he hasn't bought Micron Technology due to the recent explosion in the stock price, he's keeping an eye on the stock and expects AI application growth to boost demand for its memory chips over the long haul as well. So there is some agreement to some extent in that statement that yes, we have seen the entire sector, especially tech, got to a point where we've seen significant rallies. We've seen the valuations get a little bit overstretched. The technicals have become overbought. So it's no surprise that we are starting to see a little bit of that pullback / dip in the market as NASDAQ also has been coming down. S&P has been coming down. But there are certain levels that I don't really see the markets kind of breaching below. I've talked about this over the weekend video going over the technicals, and I do expect the buyers to step in at those support levels. So the Dow up 7 basis points, S&P up over 0.5%, the NASDAQ pushing up over 1% on the day. We did have a little bit over 2,400 stocks advancing, with the majority of stocks declining on the day, 3,360, actually 3,600. But of course, it was the big tech that was pushing higher that kept the market higher. This right here is going to be that economic calendar. So again, tomorrow we've got retail sales at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Very, very important numbers, obviously. Then we've also got the FOMC minutes coming out at 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, along with MBA mortgage applications, housing starts and permits, industrial production. We got the jobless claims, of course, coming out every Thursday, and Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, and some of the other leading indicators as well that obviously the market's going to care about. So NVIDIA up 7%, AMD up 4%, Broadcom, Texas Instruments, Micron pushing up over 6%, Google, Meta, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Oracle, Adobe, Eli Lilly, Merck, all these companies pushing higher. Even Amazon was up. Tesla was down after the price cuts, but this right here is the entire side of the market which was down, which is your defenses, industrial, real estate, energy, materials, utilities, financials, all those sectors selling off, with comm services, cyclicals, and technology were the only three that were kind of leading on the day. Over the last 1 week though, energy and healthcare are still the ones that are pushing higher. Everything else is down, and over the last 1 month, energy is the big leader, with healthcare, comm services, financial, and defensive pushing higher. Everything else is straight up down. Oil prices, natural gas, cocoa, lumber prices, rough rice, all pushing higher with volatility. Corn, sugar prices, lean hogs, coffee, feeder cattle, heating oil, everything pulling down. And we did have Bitcoin just a little bit over 29,000 and Ether just over 1,800 as well. Again, these right here are some of my options on Tesla that I am planning to close. So this right here is up over 82%. I'll be closing that out at over 95% plus profit. And these ones I'm not really touching, as I mentioned in my Tesla video yesterday or earlier today, basically going over that I'm going to let them expire because I did roll these contracts out. So, you know, they're up 34%, 6%, 68%. So I'm not going to touch these anymore. I'm going to just let them expire in November and December, depending on whether they're in the money, out of the money. I don't care. They are going to just expire. So going over to the markets first, let's just go over to the oil market here. Crude oil pushing up a little bit over 12 basis points. 82.50 is where we're at. Again, keep a close eye on crude because that obviously puts a lot of pressure on inflation, and that is still yet to be seen. But we did see an uptick in overall energy prices on a month-over-month basis. Gas prices are up a little bit over 8% at the pump. So obviously, if crude oil continues to push higher, that is obviously going to create some upwards pressure on gas prices, which is going to create further upside on inflation, which is going to show up in the prints, in the CPI prints in the months to follow, which again is going to create that uncertainty around interest rates as well. So resistance at 93.60, that's going to be that next level. Support level is going to be inside this green rectangle for us to watch for. Crude oil sitting roughly at 82.50. Talking about Ether, and Ether here, again, consolidating sideways, so we're not really going anywhere. So we're seeing a lot of sideways trading here with the support sitting roughly at 1,800 with a resistance up to 1936. And we've got Bitcoin here also just consolidating sideways with a support at 28,300 with a resistance all the way up to 31,670 for Bitcoin as well. So a lot of consolidation is what we're seeing for BTC. Talking about the markets here now, S&P 500, so a little bit of a pushback higher. So we talked about that support, right? So we talked about how 44.40, 44.50, very, very important support level. That's that first line of defense for the market. And guess what? We immediately got bought up as soon as we got down to that level. Low for the day, 44.53, and the buyers really just stepped in. And once again, we're going to get up to that 21 EMA. Tomorrow, we're going to find out whether the S&P once again breaks past 4,500 or if you get rejected at that 21 EMA once again. So it's again, day by day, we have to understand and analyze the market. Where's the overall trend right now? Obviously, we're still in that pullback / dip category where we were down a little bit over 3.5%. Now we're only down 2.6%. But again, it's going to come down to tomorrow and 21 EMA, whether we get a breakout or a rejection after the retail sales numbers come out. And support level is still going to be 44.40. The NASDAQ here, on the other hand, also getting a little bit of a rebound here, still some ways away from that 21 EMA. I think it needs to break over 14,000 for us to be a little bit more comfortable once again on the long side. But support level is going to be in that confluence here with that higher low. And of course, that horizontal support that we need to watch for the NASDAQ sitting roughly at around 13,250, 13,300 for the NASDAQ moving forward. So that right there is going to be that area of demand and that support to watch for the NASDAQ. Talking about Apple here, and Apple on the day also getting bought up. So again, coming down to 177. The buyers are present at those prices. We've got an oversold RSI, oversold the MACD. Of course, it sold off after the earnings and it broke down below that 21 EMA. So we are incredibly oversold. Support level is going to stay put at 177. Resistance all the way up to that 21 EMA at 185. And that does offer maybe some marginal upside of 3 to 3.5%. All the way up to all-time highs, almost under 10% at 196. But of course, support level is going to stay put at 177. The moment we break down below 177 for Apple, I wouldn't be surprised if it does end up selling down to 157, closer to $160 per share. Talking about Amazon, and Amazon here also validating that support at around 137. So again, continues to get bought up here. This is the support level that we talked about. And again, you can see the markets coming down, respecting and validating our support levels, and then pushing right back higher. So these are not some imaginary numbers that we come out of thin air, but instead these are pre-validated and looked at and analyzed numbers that they've already respected before, and the market's just looking at those support levels and then getting bought up once again. So for Amazon, 137 is going to be that support level that we talked about, and again, resistance is going to be all the way up to 146. We do still have a little bit of a gap to fill after the earnings, which I don't believe Amazon's going to come down to fill that gap if, of course, the NASDAQ continues to move higher and breaks above that 21 EMA. So resistance is going to be at 146, support at 137. I haven't sold a call on Amazon yet. I did sell calls on a couple different stocks here yesterday, or actually today, but for Amazon, the moment it breaks above 145, 146 is when I'll be looking at it, because the premiums are not that high, because I really want something at 165, 170 strike, and the premiums for those strikes at the moment are not that lucrative. Talking about Tesla here, and Tesla on the day getting bought up as well. So low for the day, 233. Green candle on a red day definitely does suggest there were some buyers present. Resistance is still going to be at 240, so you'll notice that we got up to as much as 240.66. Got rejected and closed down under 240. And this right here inside this green rectangle is going to be a massive area of support to watch for Tesla. Of course, resistance all the way up to that 21 EMA to as much as 275, 276 for Tesla moving forward. So we're definitely seeing a lot of pullback here, of course, after the earnings and the price cuts and the margin compression and everything that Wall Street's kind of spinning around this stock here. But resistance is going to be 240, and it only gives us buying opportunities for the long term, of course, at lower prices, and the calls continue to print. Next up on the docket is going to be NVDA. NVIDIA pushing up over 7%. So very, very strong rally, pushing past $404 per share, validating that support here at 407, and resistance is going to be all the way up to 440 for NVIDIA, kind of in line with that 21 exponential moving average. And of course, we got a support all the way down to $347 per share. So right now, we're still below that 21 EMA for the first time since December of last year. So again, tomorrow is going to be very important whether NVIDIA breaks out of this resistance at $440 and in line with that 21 EMA, or gets rejected. And once again, we're still in that downtrend, retraces back down to 407, potentially even breaks down to lower levels. So again, tomorrow we've got a very interesting technical test for the market, because a lot of the stocks got validated at their support, but now they're trading below their 21 EMA. So it's going to be quite interesting whether we break past 21 EMA or get rejected and sell right back down further. So that's going to be very, very important. Advanced Micro Devices, a very similar trend, validated at that support at 107. We got the 21 EMA and this lower high as a resistance for AMD at the top. So tomorrow, once again, we're going to find out whether we get a breakout or a rejection at those levels. Talking a little bit about Meta Platforms now, and Meta on the day here also, same thing, right? Getting validated at $300, pushing higher. 21 EMA is going to be that resistance at $306 per share. And right now, of course, we're just coming down a little bit. We filled that entire gap after the earnings. Support level, like I said, at $300 per share. And 21 EMA tomorrow. We're going to find out whether we see a breakout or a rejection. PayPal seeing a very nice reversal back higher. So RSI and MACD pushing up over 2.8% after the new CEO is announced. I will be doing a more separate, more dedicated video on PayPal. So we'll talk about that in a separate video, and what I think about this new move and what I'm looking for from the company over the long term, where the focus and the vision needs to be for PayPal. So we'll talk about that in one of my separate videos. But oversold RSI, oversold MACD, and again getting a little bit of that support validated at around $62 per share, resistance all the way up to $69 to $70 obviously for PayPal. Square down about 69 basis points, but continues to be very, very oversold and coming down to those support levels at $58, $59 per share. So this right here is going to be that support to watch for Square. Resistance right now is going to be all the way up to near-term resistance as much as 62.40 to as much as $70 for Square moving forward. Talking about Netflix, and Netflix here also consolidating sideways, so we're not really seeing a lot of momentum, but really just sideways trading. Consolidating, resistance going to be at 458, support at 410. So we're seeing a lot of sideways trading action and a lot of consolidation for Netflix. Valuation still a little too high for my personal taste on Netflix. Google pushing higher, 1.28%, and that's exactly why I actually made a trade on Google today. Resistance is going to be staying put at 131, so this right here is going to be that level of that resistance. A very strong green day for Google. Support level is going to stay put at 127. Google is probably one of the fewer tech stocks that is still trading above its 21 moving average, which is still considered in an uptrend. And if we do see a breakout above 131, resistance is going to be all the way up to 144 for Google moving forward. So that's going to be that next target, next level to watch for Google. Talking about Microsoft now, and Microsoft here validating, pushing back higher above $322 per share. So we'll go ahead and turn this level back into a support for Microsoft. We did breach that level briefly, didn't come down to 312 yet, oversold on the RSI and the MACD, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does get a little bit of that momentum back higher, and that resistance is going to be that 21 EMA sitting roughly 331 with the support sitting roughly 322 for Microsoft. And finally, we get down to Shopify and Enphase, and Shopify here pushing higher, 1.28%, perfectly validating that support at $54, $55. So this right here is going to be that level to watch as a support. And of course, resistance all the way up to that 21 EMA at close to $60 for Shopify as well. And then finally, we got Enphase also pushing higher up over 2.5%. Resistance all the way up to that 21 EMA at 151, all the way up to 188. And of course, we've got a reasonable support at 131 down to this very, very good deal from a fundamental standpoint as well for this company. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and a complete update on the markets. And bottom line is that we are seeing definitely a lot of momentum once again come back in, because a lot of individual stocks and even the markets are trading at a very strong support level. But tomorrow again, it's going to be important whether the 21 EMA acts as a resistance, whether we get rejected or get a further breakout to the upside on the back of retail sales numbers. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you did, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining us. Of course, getting access to all the private videos, members only videos, buy and sell alerts, options alerts, trade ideas, everything's going to be included. There is also a 16% annual discount available until the end of this month. Link down below. Happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.